Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? I don't know if the discarnates answered or the incarnates. I don't know. How are you doing tonight? Oh, no. Okay. Just to make sure. All right. We're going to have Lais talking about building fraternity among us, and Larry making trouble in the back. And I'm going to invite all of us to, let's wait for Larry to sit down. Thank you for closing the door. Yes. People are having some fun in the cafeteria. Okay. So I invite you for this opening prayer. Let's find our breath. Let's find ourselves here in the present moment, in the now. And let's connect with all the hearts on this planet that, just like us, are expanding their conscience, are expanding their spirituality, are evolving on their spiritual journey. Let's connect with them. And let's feel, only by this thought, the power that we receive back of the support we are having from this planet, from the prayers, from the positive vibrations and intentions, and also from the spirits, that we are all part of this planetary family. And we all come together here in this place, and others in different groups, but with one goal. We are the co-creators of a happy planet, a happy world we are all part of. It's just a matter of time. We will wake up as a spirit, as immortal spirits, and we will understand that we are here and we are part of this plan, participants of this plan, this big plan. So let's open our hearts and our minds to receive our speaker. Let's involve our speaker with positive vibrations. And may we come home tonight bringing a word, a teaching, a thought that will help us to be more prepared for our journey here on this planet. Thank you, good spirits, our spiritual family, and thank you, each one of us that come here together to make this meeting happen. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me well? Can you hear me well, Larry? Yes, okay. All right. Can I hear myself well? I think so. I hope so. Because what I'm going to talk to you tonight, I'm the first one to hear, right? Because my mouth is the closest one to my ears. And besides, I have two microphones on, so I should hear very well. And I say this, and I've been saying this every time I come to present any of the studies that I do, because these studies are more for myself than for anybody else who is here listening to me. Every time I do these studies and I analyze myself throughout my days, then the conflicts come. And I'm like, okay, I'm saying this, I'm studying this, I'm spreading this. How about doing this, right? And it's not easy. So, fraternity, building fraternity among us, and especially within us. That's the topic for tonight. And what's the meaning of fraternity? I'm putting this here because I tend to get lost with time. So, what's the meaning of fraternity? And I looked in the dictionary, and from the dictionary, it's a group of, there are two meanings, okay? So one, it's a group of people sharing a common profession or interests. The second meaning, it's the state or feeling of friendship and mutual support. Which one do you think we're talking about tonight? Exactly. So the second one. We're talking about the second one. Now, I omitted a little part of this second one's definition, because the second one said, it's the state or feeling of friendship and mutual support within a group. And I'm like, wow, if I put within a group, it's just like the first one. So are we going to be fraternal and demonstrate solidarity just among the people who think about us? Who behave just like us? Who agree with us? So that's not really fraternity, right? So the dictionary was wrong. I omitted that. I deleted that part, okay? I'm just telling you the truth. Okay, now synonyms: fraternity, brotherhood, fellowship, kinship, friendship, companionship, support, solidarity, community, union, togetherness, and sisterhood. But not just with our kind, with humankind, right? With everyone. So I read a book. It's in Portuguese. I don't know if it's translated. I have to find out, because there are many books from this author that are translated into English. And it's called The Sublime Prayer of Francis of Assisi, a roadmap for the path of the master's apprentice. I think, at least in mine here, yeah, it cut the apprentice, for the master's apprentice. So I am an apprentice of the master. And who is the master, according to Spiritism? Who is the model for humanity? Jesus, right? Very good. So this, according to the author, and the author, his name is Alírio de Cerqueira Filho, Dr. Alírio de Cerqueira Filho. He wrote many, Dr. Alírio de Cerqueira Filho, he wrote many books, and one of the books that I read by him, this book really changed my life and the way I think about self-transformation. And before I read this book, when I would say this prayer, or even listen to the song, because there are many songs, right? Many versions related to this prayer. And thinking about, Alírio, the book, that's the name of the book. That's the title. That's the title of the book. And the subtitle, the large words, the large font is the subtitle. Alírio de Cerqueira Filho. You're welcome. So when I read this book, before reading, I was like, okay, I'm going to bring love, I'm going to bring peace to someone out there, someone who is suffering. But then after I read this book, I found out that it's related to self-knowledge, self-transformation, and self-mastery. And it's totally related to, although I'm saying, dear Lord, wherever there is hatred, may I bring or let me bring, I'm asking to be an instrument of peace, but the word is let me be, let me do. It's action. I gotta do it. The Lord is not going to do it for me. And I gotta do it for myself. It's not for me to go and bring peace someplace else. Because what's happening right now in the world, that's very sad, that we see in the news, we are participating in it every day. In our families, in our relationships. Because whatever we do, whatever we think and feel, spreads out. It's energy. And it goes out there. And it connects to the other energy and other energies that are pulsating in the same way we are. Okay? Let me get back to my notes, otherwise I'll get too involved. Okay, so according to Alírio de Cerqueira Filho, in this book, there are 3 levels of consciousness. And then he divides the prayer into these 3 levels, okay? Pacification, availability, and autonomy. Now, the first level, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace, pacification. This is the heartfelt appeal of the master's apprentice. The master is Jesus. I am the apprentice, right? Where there are vicious feelings inside of me, such as hatred, resentment, doubt, despair, sadness, I'm asking the Lord that I want to be an instrument of peace, but I want to bring virtual feelings inside of me, such as love, forgiveness, faith, hope, joy. And I do this through a continuous and conscious effort to develop and practice virtues. This is why I came here in the first place as an immortal spirit. I came not to have a vacation, not to be on vacation in this planet at all times. I came to develop virtues. That's why I came here. Because one day I will become an enlightened spirit. I will become a Christ. Remember that. I'm telling it to myself too, remember that. Okay. Now, to achieve this intent, the apprentice of the master asks some conscientious questions. The answers require continuous, persistent, and self-loving efforts. It's not a mandate. I have to do it. I have to love someone who did something that was not nice to me. I have to forgive. No, I don't have to anything. I'm invited to. Jesus invites us. Jesus invites. It's always, always an invitation. If we feel obligated to do it, what happens? What happens? Cynthia knows. We don't do it, right? Because we feel obligated. And that's not what the Lord wants. And that's not what Jesus wants. He's inviting us. So we ask these questions. Do I really want to become an instrument of peace? Do I really want to? Do I really want to develop love where there is hate inside of me? And I can't tell that there is no hate inside of me. Oh, no, that's too much. I'm a Christian. I'm a Spiritist. No, I don't hate anybody. Sometimes I get angry. That's hate. That's just a gradation of hate. Okay? Do I want to replace the vicious cycle of hatred, resentment, hurt, resentment again, and hatred and hurt and resentment again, and again, and again, with the virtuous cycle of love? Do I want to do that? Now, if I answer yes to all of these questions, it means that I want to become an instrument of peace. And if I want to, I can. In terms of it's permitted. God allows me to be an instrument of peace. Because as a matter of fact, that's why I'm here, right? Okay. And there is another I can. I can because it's permitted, and I can because I'm capable of. I'm capable of being an instrument of peace. I was prepared for it. Before reincarnating, we are prepared to reincarnate. And we are prepared in a way that, okay, so last time, it was very hard for you to forgive this person, right? Okay, so, and you are willing and you really want to be born with this person in your family. All right, you're asking for it, right? So let's get prepared, all right? And then we study the gospel, we get ready, we meet with that person, with the enlightened spirits with us, helping us, supporting us. We are there, we meet with that person before we reincarnate, and then we say, okay, I'm ready. And we might be afraid to fail again, yes, but we come, we are prepared, we go to school for it. Right? So then we are capable. We are capable. And then I deserve it. I deserve it. You know why? Because I was created by God to achieve happiness and to have a fulfilled life. And for that to happen, I need to develop my virtues. Because if I don't, where is the divine law? I always ask this question, right? Where is it, according to Spiritism? In our conscience, right? In our conscience. The divine law is right here inside of us. So then, if we don't develop the virtues and we continue in that cycle of resentment and hatred and resentment and hatred, we're just having a conflict right here. The divine law is here, and I'm doing the opposite. So I have a conflict inside myself. I'm not happy, right? But I deserve to be happy. And by the way, that question is question 621. I wrote down here. Where is God's law? Okay. So then, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. This part refers to the movements that the apprentice will make to achieve self-transformation. It's part of the first level of conscience, okay? The pacification level. The pacification level is the longest, the greatest, the biggest, because we take a long time. We're human beings. We develop slowly, right? So then we go through all of this, practicing the virtues. So then where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is hurt, forgiveness. Where there is discord, unity. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is error, truth. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sadness, joy. And where there is darkness, light. And all of this inside of me, not out there, inside of me. So by doing this, I begin to act. I begin to act. Let's get to work, right? Take action. I need to take action. I'm invited to take action if I want to achieve happiness. So I'm invited to do all of that. I don't have to. That's something that's difficult to get away from, our speech, our talking, and our feelings, because we always feel that we have to. Even when I'm talking, I'm policing myself not to say I have to. We have to. We don't have to. But it's better for us because we can do anything we want, but not everything will bring us happiness, right? So now, where there is hatred, let me sow love. This is related to self-love. And it's related to self-knowledge first, because to love myself, I need to know myself. I need to know what goes inside of me, what moves me to do something. Why do I behave the way I do? When someone does something that I don't like, or when someone doesn't talk to me, or when someone does something good that I like. Why do I behave the way I do? I need to ask those questions to myself every night before I go to bed. I have to? No, I'm invited to, and I should, right? Why do I get so angry or unbalanced when I face certain situations? What's the truth about the angry feelings inside of me? In this process of self-discovery, I accept Jesus' invitation when he said, "Do not light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, put it on a stand, and it will give light to everyone in the house." So when Jesus says that, the invitation is, so I'm going to light the lamp in the dark room of my conscience. I'm going to light the lamp there. And I'm going to unveil the shadows that I didn't want to look at before. Okay, I am proud. I have envy. And this and this and that I don't want to look at. And sometimes I just pretend that I'm not. I'm angry. I have this anger inside of me when so-and-so does that. But I pretend I'm not angry and I'm just, okay, that's fine. No, I look at it and I accept it. I accept myself the way I am. Now, fortunately, I don't have only shadows inside my conscience. None of us have only shadows inside our conscience. When I bring light into my conscience, I also reveal my own light, because I have the divine law within me. And I have seeds of virtues waiting for me to cultivate them. I'm going to cultivate, nobody else. Now, when I cultivate these seeds, I will need to be patient and persistent with myself, and I will need to embrace the shadowy side of myself so that I will be able to master the development of virtues that will lead me to my self-transformation. This transformation can only happen through self-love. That's why it's not a mandate. I can't force myself. It's with love. When I treat my vicious tendencies like I would treat an ignorant child who doesn't know any better at that moment. I didn't know any better a few days ago when I did something and then I regretted and then I'm like, okay, now I can do better, and today I don't do that anymore, right? So we guide an ignorant child by providing love and guidance until that child grows. So we need to guide ourselves, just like we guide a child. Our feelings, our shadows. We need to treat them with kindness. And when there is hurt, let me bring forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is a great act of love. Because when of self-love. Because when I forgive someone who did something against me, on purpose or not, I'm showing and I'm demonstrating self-love. Because Alírio de Cerqueira Filho tells a story that just stick to me, and I mean, I can't forget it. And every time I think about forgiveness, I remember that story. When we don't forgive, it's like someone threw a stone on our forehead, and it's pointy, heavy, so we got hurt. It's bleeding. It's bleeding. We have a reason to be angry, upset with that person, right? But then we decide to forgive. We decide to forgive because we want to become an instrument of peace. And we are capable of, right? But then something happens and we remember that again. And then we talk about it with anger. We didn't really forgive, did we? And then that hurt that was already like with a scab in there and it was dry already, it was healing, it starts to bleed again. The little scab comes off and we start bleeding again. And we continue with that cycle, and that gets just more profound and more profound. We're just hurting ourselves. So that's a great act of unlove. Now, if we want to have a great act of self-love, we are invited to forgive. Forgive others and forgive ourselves. And that's a liberation. With that, we're self-embracing and disconnecting from evil. Okay? So we practice self-forgiveness. And let's remember something. Let's remember a parable from Jesus. The weeds and the wheat. When Jesus was asked if the weeds should be pulled out when caring for a crop, and he responded, no, because by taking out the weeds, you could pull out the wheat with it. Then let it grow, let them grow together, and then, until the harvest. And then we take care of it. We separate them. So when Jesus says that in Matthew 13, we can think that the weed are our vices, our shadowy side. And many times we just want to take it away as quickly as possible. And we want, okay, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to be so angry anymore. I don't want to be so unforgiving anymore. And then we just go against it, and we make that a mandate, like I was saying before. But just let it grow together. But when we practice self-forgiveness it's a process of intimate transformation. And when we do that, what do? We water the wheat. We don't take care of the weed. But we leave it in there. And we look at it, remember? In the dark room, we look at it. Because when we light a dark room, we see spiders and bugs of any kind, right? But we also see nice pictures there that we left there before, some things that we left organized. So we see the virtues and we see the vices. And we let them, we leave the vices, we see, but we are not like complaining, oh no, I should take this away, I should kill it. No, just embrace it. Let it grow together, but water the virtues. And then the wheat is going to grow, it's going to become beautiful and golden, and the weeds are just going to disappear, little by little. When we become enlightened, right? It takes time. So, if this process is constant, then self-forgiveness and self-redirection, we are going towards goodness. And with that, to do that, we need to get up. We need to shake the dust off. In Portuguese, we say something like that. Get up, shake the dust off, and keep on moving, okay? So forgive ourselves for the things that we do wrong, for the things that we know that don't agree with the divine law. Where there is discord, let me bring unity. This is related to self-responsibility. So at this level, we stop complaining about others and about the things that we do ourselves and lamenting. So we stop with the complaint and lamentation. And then we start to do things with responsibility, taking responsibility for our actions. So I can only give to others what I give to myself. So in the process of self-blaming and exculpating, I looked in the dictionary, exculpating means an instance of clearing oneself from alleged fault or guilt. Like making excuses for wrongdoings, right? That would be that. So at this level of conscience, I make the movement of transmuting or changing complaints and lamentations because they occupy the place of responsible thinking. So I stop with the self-blaming and with blaming others. And then with that, I may be in an inner movement of discord with myself. If I am lamenting all the time, complaining all the time, I have discord right inside of me. So you see how this prayer is for our own self-development? It's not for us to bring peace out there. Because if we don't put the mask on ourselves first when we are in the plane, we can't save other people. Right? So that person who has difficulty relating to others in a group, for instance, complaining about everything and everyone, may be in an inner movement of discord within himself or herself. At this level of awareness, the master's apprentice enters a process of self-responsibility and stops projecting his or her problems on other people and situations also around him or her. The apprentice enters the inner pacification. Now, where there is doubt, let me bring faith. It's related to self-confidence. And here, we remember what Jesus said about the lilies in the field. Look at the lilies in the field, which neither toil nor weave, and yet not even Solomon in all his glory was dressed as well as they were. And if God clothes the grass of the field, which is fresh today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, do you not think that he will also give you what you need? You souls with so little faith. And do not worry about what to eat and what to drink. Let it not cause you anxiety. So, at this level, we develop a feeling of divine fatherhood. We know that we are sons and daughters of God. And we believe and we really feel the divine providence within us. And with that, I transform challenging experiences into learning experiences for my spiritual improvement. Divine providence, according to Emmanuel, it's before any problem, help comes beforehand. So before any problem happens to me, there was help sent to me already. I just didn't see it. That's providence. Where there is despair, let me bring hope. Oh, I touched it and I think I moved it one more, just a second. When there is sadness, when there is despair, let me bring hope. So in here, I'm reading the wrong one, I'm sorry. I'm just now looking at the time. Where there is error, that I bring truth. Now this is related to consciential fidelity. We know, again, repeating again, I think I said it 3 times already, that the divine law is inside of us, right? So then we have 3 levels of error. The error of 3 levels of ignorance. The level of not knowing, not feeling, and not experiencing. Now, we here, all of us, we can't say that we have the level of ignorance at least about some of the things that we study here, right? Because we are here, we come here, we study, we participate in study groups, we read books related to Spiritism and self-development. So at some point, we can't say that we are ignorant. So we achieved that not knowing. We know now. Okay. Now, how about not feeling? Do we really feel that we are sons and daughters of God? We read in the books and in the Spirit's book that we are immortal beings. Do we feel that? Do we really feel and live as immortal beings in this life? So that's the ignorance of feeling. Do we really experience that? So that's related to those 3 levels of ignorance that we are invited to develop the opposite of it and to know that, to bring the truth to ourselves. Where there is despair, let me bring hope. That's related, every time I move here, I'm sorry. Where there is despair, okay, I'll put it in here. I won't touch it. Where there is despair, let me bring hope. So that's related to self-belonging to the cosmos. So if I really feel that I'm an immortal being, then I belong to the cosmos, okay? And I live the here and now. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow, I don't know yet. And the only best thing that I can do is to do my best here right now, okay? So whatever happened is gone. And I'm working with the present, in the present moment. And I'm understanding my existential purpose. I am an immortal spirit created by God to express His divine love, and I'm the only one who can do this job. Lacordaire Fayad said once, we are all in the same rough sea, but each one of us builds his or her own boat. We are not in the same boat, okay? Like some people say, we are in the same rough ocean, but each one of us build our own boat, okay? And as the master's apprentice, who is at the helm of my boat? Jesus, right? And so Jesus is at the helm of my boat, and I can access my existential purpose and build hope and faith. I understand, I feel, and I experience the teachings of my master when he said, what the Father wants is the death of sin and not of the sinner. So I follow him with hope, with faith, and lightness. I don't force myself. It's very hard. I'm saying it to myself. I do it with lightness. I forgive myself. Where there is sadness, let me bring joy. It's related to humility and gratitude. Because when I'm sad about the things that I do and things that are happening around, I am just demonstrating a rebellion against life. I'm being rebellious. So the existential sadness is a rebellious act against the conditions of life. At this level, I accept the challenging experiences of my life and I learn from them. And I transmute them into learning experiences. What can I learn from it? Okay, let's move on. I also seek and take advantage of stimulating experiences like this one here today, like listening to happy music, to uplifting music, like reading a good book, like talking to a friend, having a nice conversation, like walking in the park, nature bathing, right? Those are all stimulating experiences. So I use them, I take advantage of them, I seek them so that I can be strong. And when the challenging experiences come to me, I can transmute them. I can change them into learning experiences. I can learn from them and I can practice the virtues within me. Yes?
Who was that you said that we are all in the same rough ocean, but each one on the boat?
Each one in our own individual boat.
Right.
Oh, that was Fayad. Lacordaire Fayad. Lacordaire Fayad, yes. Okay, so to finalize, I think did you take it off or was that an accident or my accident? Was it? It was an accident. Okay. All right, so just we're going towards the end. Where there is darkness, let me bring light. That refers to self-enlightenment. So that's the last stage of this level, the pacification level. So by self-forgiving, self-embracing, self-appreciating, I develop altruism, and that's unconditional love, which leads the spirit to produce light within itself. By doing all of these exercises or practicing these virtues, I develop light within myself. And then I go to the second level of the prayer, which is availability. This is the self-awareness stage, when I get in tune with Christ, when he said, I came not to be served, but to serve. At this level, we get out of the spiritual psychological childhood. Here, we remember a message from the gospel according to Spiritism that talks about the true Spiritist or the true Christian on chapter 18. The true Christian is known by his or her moral transformation and by the efforts he or she makes to master his or her bad tendencies. So that's this level. And the apprentice says, I truly offer myself in body, mind, and soul. I'm here to serve. I already have the true fraternity within me in my daily life, with my family, with my friends, with my not-so-friends, at work, at the religious temples, wherever I go and with whoever I am. At this level, I can be fraternal with anybody. I'm here to serve, okay? And then the last level is the autonomy. So now, to do all of this is easy. It's going to take a long time for us to get there. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in forgiving that we are forgiving. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. This level refers to that moment when we enter the ecstasy of working for the good. Our joy, our happiness is to serve. That's how the high spirits are. They could be doing other things, but then they come back and they come back to help us over and over again because it's just a joy for them. They don't need time to rest because they feel rest when they are helping others. The apprentice conquers the full stage of autonomy to exercise the virtues of the master within himself, naturally turning to an autonomous, consciential movement in the continuous exercise of the virtues, continuously. From the exercise of the virtues, love, forgiveness, self-responsibility, faith, feeling of divine filiation, hope, and joy, the apprentice is illuminated within and can experience the teachings of the master with autonomy. There's no need of anybody telling. There's no need of even reading the gospel anymore because it's here, and I remember it. I know it. It's that easy. But it's a difficult, not difficult, but it requires effort. Effort, that's the word. Effort. We need to make effort. We are invited to make effort. As Paul of Tarsus said, it is no longer I who live, but the Christ who lives in me. So when we get to that level, that's how we feel. Now, if you all remember and know the story, the history about Paul of Tarsus, then you know that you can do it, and I know that I can do it, right? Because Paul of Tarsus killed many people, many Christians. He led to the killing of many Christians. But he changed. So I can change. So then if it's difficult to look at Jesus and say, oh, but it's Jesus. He is an enlightened spirit. He is the governor of our planet. He is a Christ. Come on. I can't be like him. If we have this attitude of just admiration of Jesus' teachings, which should not be, that's not the invitation, but sometimes we do feel that way because we have our limitations, our beliefs, our limiting beliefs. So if we feel that way, okay, then let's think about Paul of Tarsus. Because if he did, we can do. And that's the invitation. So, to end, that's the God's law that's within us, right? So Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this, love your neighbor as yourself, as yourself, as yourself. Don't forget, as yourself. Embrace yourself, your shadow, and your virtues. There is no greater commandment than this. And we can do it. We want. It's permitted. We are allowed to. We are capable of. And we deserve to be happy. We deserve to become enlightened spirits. And that's our destiny. Thank you.
Thank you, Lais, for the presentation tonight. It was wonderful. Open-eyed for a lot of us in here. So let's go into the reminders. Ooh, our barbecue is coming. Save the date, April 10th. So it's going to be our first party of the year. We do this gathering so we can, gather, financial for our center and also for us to have good times with our families and friends here at the center. So save the date so we can meet at the state on a Sunday, April 10. Please reserve your spot so we know how much cooking we need to do for that day. All right? So April 10th. Mediumship study group studying English every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Today was our first class. Right, Larry? So we're starting again. And the book is in the domain of the mediumship or in the realms of the mediumship. It's the same book. We're going to have several tutors there. We're going to be rotating between 4 people. And every Wednesday. Be here with us. Group guided meditation with Cynthia Cava every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Our meditation is growing every day. We started with a couple of people. Now we have, a lot of people here with our meditation. It's wonderful. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I finish work and I rush here because it's just wonderful to meditate, especially with a group of people. I meditate every morning also at home, but it's not the same thing. It's not. And when you're in a group of people, it's the feeling, it's wonderful. So come and join us. It's free and we're here. Spiritual treatment and constellation every Thursday at 7 p.m. You all know that. We have it in English and Portuguese. We have the spiritual surgery every Friday. Talk to me if you need any assistance on this level. We have doctors here, spiritual doctors. They'll see you if you have any physical sickness and emotional also. Come and see me. Every Monday, 8 p.m. and Saturday, 6 p.m., we have public meetings in Portuguese with translation with English. We have wonderful translators here. Come and join us also. And our yard sale is coming in Friday 11th. That's the day we put everything together for the next day on a Saturday 12. We are continue looking for volunteers to help this work. We need help on a Friday, and we help especially in the openings on a Saturday and closing on a Saturday. We need a lot of men here to help carry out the things out and let the women sell the stuff. So if you want to become a volunteer, come and see me, or Kari or Cynthia or anybody here at the center. No, this is not good. All right. So we have a magnetized water. Bring your water. We'll take it inside there. Bring as many bottles you want. We'll magnetize before passes. Take it home. Drink it 3 times a day. Okay? It's very, very good to you. You can give it to your pet, to yourself, give it to your plant. Okay? Only if you need it. But it's wonderful for you. So now I ask you guys to join me in a prayer. And follow the end of the prayer. We're going to go to our passes. And tonight, as we know, we have a situation in the world. And as humanity, like Lais said, we need to love each other. And I ask for the prayer for tonight so we can concentrate on the leaders of the world, on the leaders of these countries that are in conflict, so we can send them our love, send them our humanity, so this conflict can end as soon as possible. Not only this one, but others that we have in our planet. So I ask you now to elevate your thought, clear your mind, and open your heart and see yourself on this region. Wear the shoes for those who are in suffering at this moment because of the war. And we are here tonight in a position to pray and send love to those countries. Send love to the leaders of these countries, so they can open their mind and their hearts and listen to the love that's coming from above. Master Jesus, we ask for your help at this moment, that our planet is in great need of love and fraternity, that our feeling for compassion can reach those who are in need, because that's what we can do now, is pray every night so this violence ends, because it's hurting us, it's hurting our heart, it's hurting our families and this great humanity. So we can visualize these leaders and send them positive energies, positive thoughts, so they receive the calm and the silence from above. We are very thankful, Master, for this opportunity to be able to reach out to our brothers and sisters, far and distant, but very close in spirituality, so they can receive our love and our compassion. And in your name, dear God, we ask permissions to end our work for tonight. And we can go homes, to our homes, with this thought of peace and hope. So be it.